Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv
Hello.
Second day in a row I thought I'd do that. Do you know, speed up fast, it's fast. No, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv/ice-cream-uploads. My name is Day, and this is Bibby.
Hello.
What the fuck? This is what happens when we're not getting enough sleep. Bibby was up to 5 o'clock watching wrestling content, and I'm just an old man that has to get up and pee. That's not true, but you know, there we go. Anyway, welcome to twitch.tv/ice-cream-uploads. As mentioned, my name is Day. I'm joined by Bibby, and we together are Ice Cream. And this, in true ice creamy fashion, is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video games podcast, if we do say so ourselves. Anyway, we are here to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest and the best and the breaking stories from the world of video games news. And we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions so we can have a back and forth in the chat. If you're watching live on YouTube or you're listening on one of our audio services, we have 4 different podcast services. We have iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Hi. If you're listening, then you know, listen away. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to hit the like button if you like what you see. But if you are watching live on Twitch, feel free to get involved in the chat. Obviously, the on-demand listeners and viewers, they don't get the chance to speak directly to Bibby, and you guys have that special opportunity. So make sure you feel free to drop in the chat and say hello. And when I say hello, I mean I don't mean hello. I mean what I really mean is it sounds a bit more like this.
Hello.
There we go. I mean, I'll let you off. That was about 40%.
That was amateur. That was amateur.
40%, babe.
Forgive me.
But before we jump into the news, Bib, you were up till 5 o'clock in the morning. Watching wrestling content.
Watching Monday Night Raw, yeah.
Which one?
What?
As in like up to date Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, like it was on in America on Monday night. So it was like fucking Tuesday morning, yeah.
I was like thinking you were watching classic stuff because last time I spoke to you about.
My brain went into overdrive. I was like, is he taking the piss? Like, what's going on here?
It's funny, the disconnect and we're both blue screened simultaneously. Yeah, I was like, which one? You're like, we're on about. I'm like, you're like,
But yeah, that's the story of my last. What time are we on? 11 hours.
Well, I got my first win on PUBG Season 7. Yeah.
GG's, duos, singles?
Solos.
Solos. Yeah, we just call them singles like it's some sort of dating app.
Yeah, couples or singles?
Yeah, singles in your area.
Yeah, I found that it was a decent enough game. I only went in to tick off my dailies, so that's kind of what I've been doing because the game triggers me so much with everything that's kind of broken about at the moment. So I keep going in to try play just for the missions. I still do get triggered because as I like tick off the missions and we get down to like 20-30 people left, my brain starts going, oh, focus on the win, let's get the win, and then I get shafted and then I rage again. But yeah, I was focusing on playing for the missions, and I had a mission to kill someone over 100 meters away, so I got myself an 8x sniper rifle and just went to like mountain tops to try and take someone out. Did that pretty quickly. There was like, do some swimming or something? Oh no, drive a boat 300 meters, 3,000 meters. So I did that on the way. So I landed on one of the islands on the desert map. So I landed on that, looted that, and then got a boat to the mainland. So I did my missions, and then I thought I'll just see what happens now. So still running around with this 8x M24 sniper rifle. Absolutely smashed 2 people on the way to the final circle as well. I mean, it was only a 5-kill win, so I did the guy with a 100-meter kill first, then just wrecked a bot because, you know, he was there, he got wrecked. Then into the final circle, we were on 2 mountains, and there was a flat plane. I was on one mountain, another guy was on another mountain, and then someone was on the flat plane. Smashed the guy on the other mountain with a sniper rifle. And then instant next shot, reload to the guy on the flat plane, smashed him, killed him as well. Went to the top of the mountain, then it went down from like 5 people to 3 people. So there was me and these 2 other people, which were on another mountain, other side of the road. The circle was favouring me, so I'm thinking, okay, I could push over and get involved in this fight because I can see them 2 closing in on each other, or I could just wait. And I just absolutely camped it out. I just sat on the other side of the mountain with my 8x sniper rifle, looking at these 2 people fighting it out. And as soon as one of them died, pulled the trigger, headshot, boom, game over. So it was just, I'll tweet a picture of it, a clip of it later on. It'll be like, why do the hard work when you can let others do it? And just see these 2 people running around fighting each other. As soon as one dies, bang, headshot. Yeah, get out of here.
It's dumb to be just running in and try to take both of them. Just let them do the hard work, like you say. Easiest way.
But anyway, speaking about doing the hard work, we have been playing some modded Master Leagues, and I mean we'd like to take all the credit, but this is the man that does the hard work. Good morning, Chucky Boy 1234 in the chat. Good morning, Chucky. How are you doing? He's the man that's been doing the hard work. But I mean, Bibby's taking all the credit for himself, you know, on the stream, saying,
Obviously,
you know,
why wouldn't
I mean, he didn't even know who Chucky was when I was asking him about it. What?
Fucking lying bastard.
Honestly, that's not very nice language.
Out of order. Out of order.
But anyway, that's enough about PUBG. That's enough about dragging Bib, and it's enough swear words, Bib, because I never fucking swear ever. Hey. Let's jump into the news. We have had a few pieces of news. Obviously, you may have seen this. All this news broke yesterday, but we're still bringing it to you because it's big news, especially if you've been stuck inside for the last few weeks and months, and you're thinking, okay, there's no E3, there's no Gamescom, there's EGX Res has been cancelled. EGX is still booked in, but is it going to happen? I don't know. I need some sort of event in my life. We know that there's a Microsoft specific thing happening tomorrow, but I kind of want something new. Well, that brings in this, our first news story of the day, written by Tom Ivan for VGC. EA will hold a world premieres event on original E3 dates. So if you're wondering, is E3 dead and gone? Well, kind of. I mean, it is for the year anyway, but alongside E3 every year for the last few years, EA have hosted their own event. Same city, same month, same days, they overlap. EA Play Live has been happening in Los Angeles for the last few years, and EA are sticking to those dates for that event. Obviously, it's not going to be happening in LA with influencers and the doc dropping in and everything else that happened last year. It will be an online-only event. But let's jump in. Electronic Arts will host a digital showcase of its upcoming games on June the 11th, kicking off at 4 p.m. PST, which is midnight UK. The EA Play Live event promises to deliver world premieres, news, and more. World premieres, yeah, baby. It will be broadcast on EA's website and take place on what could have been the final day of E3 2020, which was cancelled in March amid concerns over the coronavirus. Last year's EA Play event debuted a new format which focused specifically on 6 games, each of which received a half-hour slot. Highlights included the first Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order gameplay and Apex Legends Season 2 details. Battlefield 5, FIFA 20, Madden NFL 20, and The Sims 4 were the other featured titles. FIFA 21 and Madden 21 are likely to be revealed at next month's EA Play event, and Respawn's Apex Legends should feature again. While DICE is currently working on the final new content update for Battlefield 5, EA said last month that the Battlefield 6 release date will fall in calendar year 2021, so it could use EA Play Live to provide the first look at the next entry in the series. Fellow EA studio BioWare confirmed in February that it was redesigning troubled MMO Anthem, so we could see the fruits of that work at EA Play. It's also working on the next Dragon Age game, although that's not expected to be released for at least a couple of years. And EA recently announced plans to bring 5 games to Stadia. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will join Google's cloud-based gaming platform before the end of 2020, while FIFA and Madden games will arrive this winter, and further EA titles will be made available in 2021. Whew! Quite a bit to go out there, Bib.
There is. What do you think it's going to look like? Do you reckon it's going to look like a state of play? I know you was blowing your nose, and I should have carried on talking a little bit longer. But you reckon that it's going to be just like a state of play, where it's just video after video after video, and there's going to be no, like that me and you doing now? We're both talking from 2 different locations about what we see around the video games, social media platforms. But do you reckon it's going to be like 2 or 3 people sat in their homes doing a live stream, and then they'll just say, and coming up next, we have exclusive footage of what the new FIFA 2021 is going to look like, and it'll roll a VT? Or do you reckon it's just going to be like video, half an hour done?
See, I think they are missing a trick if they just have it like this, because we could do it. Fuck, damn. We could call it the Bib and Grib play.
I see you play.
I see you play.
I see you pee.
I see you pee. Yeah. Ads, good morning. Hello. I think they've been missing a trick if they don't do it as a full broadcast, like kind of sort of setup. I mean, this kind of, I see it being two ways. I don't see it being like a shared screencast, kind of like we're doing here. I see it being more like either state of play, probably less state of play, probably more Nintendo Direct. If they're gonna have a pre-recorded, sort of like off the shelf, kind of presenterless video. That's kind of one way it's gonna be. I don't think it will be that way. I think it would be more like more like what we've seen. Maybe not the big, huge stage, or maybe so. Maybe they will go for some form of stage. At least a set. They're gonna. I reckon they'll have some sort of set. Just in the same way that if you watch, and I say if you watch, I realise what I'm saying when I'm saying it. Nobody does, but if you watch the One Show on BBC One at 7 o'clock, what? I mean, they are still doing their live broadcasts from the studios in Salford's Media City. Shout out to Salford. But they're sat like on separate couches, so they're having to do a bit more wider cams so people are away from each other. I think they've been missing a trick if they don't do that. Obviously, there's probably bits to consider there. I mean, the One Show cast are probably signing waivers in terms of they understand the risks and so on. But if this is a development team that are going to be committed to working together to providing a show, then I'm saying this, I've not done any risk analysis, so I could be completely wrong with this. But if the risks aren't there and they're mitigated enough, I would see them doing something like that. Yes, they may have you calling in on a Discord video call or a Zoom chat or whatever, and they may have some bits like that. But I see that all being pre-recorded in an as live setup, so they'll have special guests and they'll do their announcements. And I feel because EA has the budget and the awareness, and EA are really good at doing conferences and things like that, I can't see them not having a lead person. I mean, what was it? Who was it? Greg Miller did last year's EA Play, and what was the woman that did the year before when they announced the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? I can't remember her name.
Andrea Renee.
That's the one, Andrea Renee. So EA, not only do they like lead presenters, but they like personalities as well. So they usually bring in people of reach, of substance, of social value. Is probably a shit phrase in terms of people that are essentially influencers themselves or celebrities to lead their show. So I can't see them not having that human element. If they go down the Nintendo-y sort of PlayStation kind of route, Nintendo Direct and State of Play, obviously Nintendo do have good conferences and PlayStation have some amazing conferences, but I feel it has to be something that's human-led. I can't see it being entirely digital as just an absent voiceover. And next up, we have BioWare's new game, Anthem. So yeah, no, I can't see it. Although saying that over the way I kind of said it in my head, it reminded me of the Radical Heights video that you posted yesterday. America's favourite game show.
Yeah. Oh, it gets me every time. I'll cry every time.
So yeah, I for me it has to be human led. I mean, is it going to be live? I mean, the fact they've called it EA Play Live, is it live or is it as live? I mean, it could be live. So yeah, I mean, maybe it could be. I'm saying it's recorded, but I'm forgetting the fact that it's called. I just have the words EA Play in my head because it's what you call it. EA Play. That's it. You don't say it full name. Like nobody calls PES eFootball PES apart from when they're in a press release. It's just PES. So I say EA Play. I don't say EA Play Live. But that's the thing. If it is EA Play Live, I mean, then it absolutely will be obviously presenter led. I feel they've got to have one anchor point. And that then does tie me back to, I'm thinking maybe they just have a small set, but the thing with having a bigger studio-ish sort of set means that you've got a lot of space, and you're going to have more space for people to not be on each other's toes, less potential for contamination in terms of the coronavirus. So yeah, I think that's kind of what it's probably got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of games, looking at the list, I was thinking, okay, world premieres. Hopefully we go for world premieres. And when they say world premieres, they're talking about... So when I say world premieres, just in case you missed it, Kicking off at midnight UK time on June the 11th, the EA Play live event promises to deliver world premieres, news, and more. So world premieres is something that we haven't seen before, in my mind. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what
Do you not reckon it could be a reboot of a franchise?
I mean, that too. I just hope they don't go, this is the world premiere of the new content in Apex, because then I'm just thinking, that's news. Don't tell me that's a world premiere when you've got news and more. That's news for me. So jumping down the list, FIFA 21 and Madden 21 are likely to be revealed. It would be a bit disappointing for me, just because of obviously where we are and wanting more content and stuff. I reckon FIFA 21 and Madden 21 are definitely going to be world premieres. I would like to see something on top of that. Whether they have the ability to do that, whether they were going to do something that's new on top of that, and whether they could actually deliver that with COVID hitting everything for the last 3-4 months. We'll have to wait and see. But I would like to see something new. Just feel we all deserve something new right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I wonder why they aren't doing it live on Twitch or YouTube as well as their own site, so they get more eyes watching. Do they actually say that's the case?
They're going to host it live on their website.
Okay. I would be surprised.
Which then makes me think that it's like a pre-recorded video or something. Then.
I mean, I would be surprised if they don't put it out on the other platforms though. Usually, I mean, maybe their early shout is just to promote their website, but then when it actually comes to it, they will go on the other things. Maybe. Excuse me one second. And we're back in the room. That was quite an audible one then. Enjoy that bit.
I did.
So I would be surprised if they don't use those platforms. Like David says, to get more eyes watching. They always do usually. It's usually on Mixer. It's usually on Twitch. It's usually on YouTube. Probably Facebook as well. So I'd be surprised if they don't actually put it out on those channels. Maybe they've just not committed to that yet. Maybe they're still in discussions in terms of exclusivity, maybe with one of those, possibly. Who knows? But for now, I think obviously they can commit to their own website. So possibly that I do find it bizarre if they don't go for the other ones. But like you say, they'll just get the Rock to present it all. If you smell.
That obviously. Yeah, I'll be interested to see who they do actually host it. The whole thing.
Just another one from the kind of funny lineup.
I mean, I'd be more than happy with that. At least they're competent enough to be able to do it.
Yeah, exactly. FIFA 21 will get a trailer, just a trailer like always. Also, maybe Fight Night will be introduced, but no trailer just announced. See, that I would be happy with. That's what I'm saying, something new. I mean, not that Fight Night is new for anyone that's a big fan of the series, but a new Fight Night is new. And obviously, Eddie Hearn's been doing the rounds with the opinion talks with EA, and didn't he tease something last week as well or something? I missed what he actually said, but it was more. I saw more comments again about Eddie Hearn has teased or said something else about Fight Night. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I've heard from Eddie Hearn, that he was looking at bringing a game out. But I mean, he is probably the most influential man in boxing. So whether or not he can bring parties together to be able to bring out a game, is it going to be like a 2K they're going to be bringing out? Is it going to be EA? Or is it going to be some indie studio that no one's, we may have heard of, but we aren't too familiar with them creating sports games? I don't know what kind of game it would be like if he was bringing it out or he was behind the decision. I really don't know.
I feel it has to be EA. I know he mentioned EA specifically, saying that he's had conversations with them. Nothing, but I read that as just either blowing smoke a bit to try and generate a need. If you talk about something, people want it. But just by talking about something can get it greenlit. If he doesn't talk about it and it's not been finalised, then it will never get finalised. If he's talking about it and it hasn't been finalised, that could build the hype. And people go, I want it. And you go, oh, people want it, so let's make it. And then it comes out, boom. And he's really intelligent in that way. He understands that talking about certain things at certain times, seeding the thoughts, will start the conversation. And that conversation builds the hype train, which is what leads to the game actually landing. He's really clever. He does that with all his fights. The way that boxing in the last 5 years has had a lot more of that personal rivalry stuff. People saying shit about each other. Just like MMA has for a while, but boxing never did. But then you got like Joshua's fights becoming personal. Tyson Fury's fights are taking personal lines and so on, and that's the kind of thing that he's added to it. It's almost the WWE sports entertainment value.
Yeah.
And he understands the idea of the sports entertainment, the marketing around it. So I think if anyone's, like you say, going to get a boxing game made, it will be him. I feel it has to be EA with the history that they've had with the Fight Night series. They've had some huge successes. Obviously, it started to dwindle, which was why they've stepped away from it and moved into MMA. But boxing over the last 5 years has definitely come back quite a lot.
But do you think the UFC? I mean, I'd love to be able to see the stats of how well UFC games ever sold compared to Fight Night games, because I think the Fight Night games were so much more popular than UFC. But I could be talking shit there with my rose-tinted glasses on.
No, I would agree. I do feel the UFC has become a better marketed product in the last 10 years. UFC came from nothing, essentially. UFC fans are probably shitting me going, actually, I think you'll find it was... But it hasn't been around a very long time. And it went from being kind of seen as the trailer park trash sport to, like, should people even be allowed to do it? Because people could die. To now it's this huge thing where you've got Conor McGregor branching out of that to fight Mayweather, and obviously Ronda Rousey's coming to TV programs and films and WWE and all that sort of spread outwards. WWE spreading back into it and things like that. So it's come such a long way. It's a very well marketed product, but yeah, I can't see the Fight Night games at their heyday not outselling the UFC games at all. I mean. UFC 1 and 2. I had UFC 2, I think. I think I've still got it. But I'm the only person I know that has it. I don't know anyone else that I could have played that game against. Whereas Fight Night Round 3, pretty much every single one of my friends had that game. So I think that, like you say, that's kind of the difference. But yeah, jumping back into EA Play, if they bring a Fight Night, that would be nice. That would be a world exclusive. We've got FIFA, so Fight Night, FIFA 21, Madden 21. They're going to be world exclusives. Apex Legends will be in the news section, as will the Battlefield 5 update, which we spoke about last week, saying that the Battlefield 5 summer update will be the last one that happens for Battlefield 5. Anthem, we covered that last month, I think it was, saying that BioWare have committed to righting the wrongs that Anthem had. Basically launched with no real substance, no end game, no reason to keep playing. So their continued service game had no reason for you to continue with the service. They're trying to fix that, so that's another one that's coming. Dragon Age.
I'd love a new Dragon Age. That'd be nice.
I've never played Dragon Age.
Brilliant games. The ones from the Xbox 360 have been ported over to the PS4 and usually go on offer for about £2. So I completed on the Xbox 360 and then rebought it again, the Game of the Year edition on the PS4, because I didn't buy any of the DLC for the Xbox 360.
It's interesting. I've just done a search for Dragon Age, and I see, surprisingly, dragons. But then, like, see bow and arrows and magic spells and things like that, and I'm thinking, this looks like an absolute baby game. but then my train of thought quickly and bizarrely went to, you've never watched Game of Thrones, have you?
I have not.
Which is so bizarre. I mean, it's probably not worth it in the end, but with you playing things like Dragon Age and you playing things like ESO, Game of Thrones absolutely has got to be a baby TV series. Plus, there's boobs in it as well. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, there's boobs and dragons, and like I probably watched a handful of the first season. I don't know why. If I went back and watched it again now, I'll probably really enjoy it. Same with Vikings. I know that'll be right on my street. Have I watched it? No, I haven't. So, I don't know.
So they play every horrible game in the world, but good TV. I'm not there.
Pretty much.
So wrapping things up, and obviously Anthem, we mentioned Dragon Age, we mentioned Bibs would smash that, but wouldn't watch it. EA also is bringing games to Stadia, which we covered last week, I think it was. So feel free to go check out our past broadcasts, particularly if you're on YouTube. It'll be easier for you to find them there, which potentially is something good for Stadia. But do you know what? Actually, thinking about it, I'm saying I want some more content. I think we're actually kind of in a good place. We've got the Microsoft Games Reveal in 2 days' time. So we're on the 5th of the 5th. Revenge of the 5th, for those of you that don't know. Bib didn't know. Didn't know the Revenge of the 5th was a
Never
thing.
seen it before.
So the 5th of the 5th.
I know it's a play on Star Wars words again, but I haven't ever seen it trending before.
Revenge of the Sith was a truly terrible Star Wars film. But there we go. It was okay. It's okay. Anyway, so yeah, we've got the 7th is the Microsoft Games event. Then potentially, was it like the 4th of June or the 7th of June or something, is the rumoured PlayStation event. Oh, I've got an Uber Eats promotion. Yeah, just got an email. Cheers, Uber Eats. Get out of here. Kill that so I don't get them on notifications. Also, Dropbox. I killed all them yesterday. Shouldn't get any more Dropbox notifications. So yeah, I'll start again for the 3rd time. Microsoft reveal event, PlayStation event, potentially 4th or 7th of June, and then the 11th of June is the EA Play. So we don't have E3, but we almost have an E3 window now. Ubisoft, I believe, said that they would do something as well. Devolver Digital are going to do something. So the only things we're kind of missing there are like the likes of the Bethesdas. But they said they aren't going to do something, or did they? I can't remember.
Bethesda?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't think so.
Interesting. So yeah, well, we've almost got a full E3 roster spread out over a bit of time. So if anything, rather than it being E3 party week, it's E3 party month. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. But you know, that's all guesswork. All we know is there is an Xbox event in a couple of days, and then there's the EA Play live event in a month. So we'll keep you posted on everything else in between. Just make sure you drop in twitch.tv/iStreamUploads. And if you're here now, please feel free to hit the follow button, because that's one way to get notified when we go live with everything. But obviously, we know EA Play is happening. We know Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, not Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. There could be actually something to mention as well. We know EA Play is happening. We know Star Wars Battlefront 2, not Star Wars, Battlefield 5, there we go, got there event. Clearly I'm trying to link it to a Star Wars content, but I'm trying to reverse my train of thought because there was something else. Did we ever hear anything? I don't think we did. Anything on, what was the Top Gun tie-in? It wasn't Top Gun, but there was a crossover. There was a Star Wars game announced or leaked on the PS Store that had, what was it?
It was a racing game, wasn't it? What was it? Like the Star Wars pod racer games.
Star Wars Project Maverick, that's it.
Yeah.
So I mean, are we gonna hear Project Maverick at EA Play? Yeah, it's a good job you mentioned that. I just typed Star Wars pod racing. There we go. I typed Star Wars Top Gun, and see, that's clearly the way my mind works. Maverick, Top Gun, way. But yeah, anyway. So are we going to hear Project Maverick there? We've got Battlefield. There's no Battlefront. So could Star Wars be Project Maverick be where the Star Wars tie-in comes? Interested. We don't know anything on that other than it is some sort of racing game. We got some key art, and that was it. And everything else on it has been silent since. Uncharacteristically silent. So yeah, maybe that's where we get the news. But speaking of Star Wars content, and this is why I absolutely shit all of my words, because I was trying to reverse back because Project Maverick came into my mind, but we do have some Star Wars news from EA. As Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order update adds new Game Plus combat challenges. So this is written by Ian Walker for Kotaku UK, and it came out yesterday on May the 4th, and that was obviously pun intended from me there, playing on the fact that it was the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. Anyway, today, this is yesterday, is a made-up Star Wars holiday, but the new update for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is, in fact, very real. The free patch adds a new Game Plus mode, combat challenges, additional cosmetics, and a slew of upgraded accessibility options. Points for using the word slew there, GG. Where many games allow you to carry over abilities into a second playthrough, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order mostly just retains the aesthetic options. New Journey Plus gives you a chance to play through the storyline again with all the cosmetics you've unlocked so far, like lightsaber parts, ponchos, and BD1 paint jobs. fucking ponchos. Also included is a new Inquisitor outfit, as well as the appropriate red lightsaber crystal and hilt designs based on the ones offered at Disney parks. The meat of the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order update is the new meditation training mode, which features several combat challenges against waves of opponents, and the battle grid, where you can construct your own fights against enemies from the main game. The battle grid will also give you an opportunity to face off against foes like Cal's mentor Jedi Master Gera Tapal, and even Inquisitor Cal himself for the very first time. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has also received several new accessibility options. You can now turn off button mashing QuickTime events and needing to hold the climb button to remain attached to a wall. Additionally, situations where you had to hold a button to confirm choices and interact with the environment can be changed to a button press. And new text scaling options makes the subtitles much easier to read. While it may not be a story expansion, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order's first major content update might be a good excuse to force jump back into Respawn's unique take on the Dark Souls formula. How far into Fallen Order did you get, babe?
About 6-ish hours, maybe. I do need to revisit it, and probably now while we're at home is the best time to be able to do it. So I will probably pick it up and start playing it again very soon. But yeah, at the moment I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Would you play it again though?
Ish. Some parts of it I did mention when we. When I played through it previously, some parts of it did get quite tedious, and probably where you are now, it took me probably 2 weeks to go from my first play to my second play. I played about 7 hours in, turned it off for a natural gap. I don't know, it was bedtime or it was time to eat or something, and then I didn't come back to it for 2 weeks because it was kind of a repetitive-ish. So yeah, didn't touch it then. But then when I did touch it, stormed through loads of it, and it started to grow on me then, because you started to get the new powers, the new moves, and it wasn't just kind of like you kind of. The only thing with a skill tree for me is the skill tree element of video games. You're essentially, for those of you who don't know what a skill tree is, a lot of people obviously will do, but skill trees, imagine me on this screen here. Down here is where you are now, and then you have like an attack, a defense, and a stamina sort of branch. And if you build up your attack, you'll get really good at attacking people. You get faster moves, you get stronger moves, and you can whatever. Your defense will allow you to evade. Your stamina will give you better health, and so on. And you essentially have to build up these 3 things. The thing I don't like about skill trees, what game? Well, actually, let me add the discussing now. Sorry. Let me just add this in. Might be a bit big. That's what she said. There we go. So, the thing I don't like about skill trees is when you're at the bottom of a skill tree, it's a signifier of you've got a long way to go, and it's just kind of, it's almost like a functional progress bar. I'm about 50% of the way through my skill tree. I'm 50% away from, not from the end of the game, although that kind of does tie with it a little bit. I'm 50% away from being able to fully use the game, and they're almost kind of like elitist to me. They kind of put me off in the fact that I'm not good enough yet, and the game's kind of reminding me, you're not at your full strength. You could be better, and I just don't like them. So going through the early stages of that, I know that I've got a slog until I can do everything, and I hate being able to see things. Oh look, there's a bridge up there that I can get to if I can double jump, but I need to get a power and come back. Or oh, there's something up there and I need to Indiana Jones lasso it and pull it down, or whatever game it is. I don't like those sort of cues, especially where you have to retrace your steps. And that was my biggest issue, was to do all that stuff you have to go back 2 planets, and I did feel it was a bit samey. There wasn't enough fast travel bits. However, get past that, get all of your powers. I mean, first of all, the game looks amazing. Second of all, it sounds amazing. But then you get all of that tied in when you're fully equipped. Good morning, Asim. Also, good morning, Jordan. Yomi's. Well, exactly what Asim's saying there. But when you get past all that, what Asim's saying there, good game, but the last couple of hours are ace. Absolutely. The last few hours of the game, smash it.
Yeah. The sound is amazing on it. Like, I loved at the beginning, I had these headphones on, these Astros actually, and you can hear the TIE fighters going over you, and I'm like, this is exactly what I need. I love this. There's nothing better than the sound of a TIE fighter. I absolutely love it.
See, if you want the sound of a TIE fighter, just go, and then just run your head past the microphone. That's how you do it. We used to do that in This is absolutely showing you what I did for my degree. Whenever I tell anyone I've got a degree in journalism, it sounds really good. Really, what happened was I sat in a radio studio and took the piss for days. But like, if you go like that, make a noise like that, and start at one end of the room when you've got a production level microphone, and then go past it. Obviously, the studio production level microphone has kind of like a really small radius for noise. So if you move like a foot to the side, you hardly hear anything. You move right up close to the mic and it gets really loud. So all you do is kind of like go, but on the studio it goes.
Well, just out of curiosity, what university did you go to?
Huddersfield.
Okay, so for anyone who's currently in college or looking to get back into education, I'd probably swear the Huddersfield. Elsewhere.
I mean, this is Huddersfield. The fact that we've got microphones was amazing. We don't know how to use them. Just sit there and yell things and scream as you go. Go fly past them.
Tom, watch this one. I've been practicing last night.
We used to do all sorts of stuff. Like we one of our, although the stuff I'm talking now was a bit more creative. That was just me being a pillock. Stuff that we were doing. We had we had to do a live restricted broadcast show, which is basically a show that was broadcast to the whole of the university grounds, and we had to simulate on-scene or on-site interviews, and basically one of them was like an interview on the side of a motorway, so other people were doing the interview stuff and we had to do the background noise, so I just kept going as like a truck going past. So yeah, that's what I did for my degree. If I tell you I got a degree in journalism, all I did was simulate noises going past the microphone. Anyway, moving on. Was tempted to play again, but got back into Battlefront 2. I want to get caught back into it because, like I've mentioned so many times, I bought the deluxe edition, hated it, and hardly touched it. But we've seen Luke and seen Jack and Lewis from the Ice Cream team smash it, put hours into it. I want to go back into it, and it was when that was happening. Lyric, streamer on Twitch, obviously, if you know your big Twitch streamers, then you'll know Lyric. He played it for a few weeks, and just watching him play it, it's not so much the gunplay, it's not so much the team deathmatchy stuff. It's the audio and the atmosphere. It's the audio and the atmosphere of the fights when you're in Battlefront 2. So yeah, I want to go back and play it. Not so much that I actually have done, but I do want to go back because I want that experience. Absolutely love Battlefront 1. Didn't get the same thing in Battlefront 2, so let's go. So that's how I level up now. Let's have a look at this clip. For those of you who don't know what a skill tree is, a lot of people obviously will, but skill trees, imagine me on this screen here. Down here is... Never mind, I'm not going to watch that, let's leave that. I know exactly what it is. It's me building a skill tree. There you go, ta-da! Next time on How Video Games Work with Graham and Bib. Halo 2 PC tomorrow. I get to enjoy my favourite multiplayer of all time. See, if anything shows you why you want to avoid Huddersfield University. I mean, I went there and yelled into a microphone, but also Enix_PvP in the Twitch chat went there, so don't do it. It's not worth it. Have you seen the video of the dog that sounds like a TIE fighter? I have. Old school memes. Enix Supremacy is the game mode, which is amazing. I can't remember. Is that the one where you advance, kind of like the one from Battlefield? I can't remember. Anyway. Chucky says, sounds better than my uni college time where we just wrestled and filmed it for my art project. For your art project.
I want to go back. I want to go to the university. I would happily do that.
I mean, we did it. We just filmed the audio. So, for those of you that missed it, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is getting an update. The update gives you the ability to go back through the whole game. So you can do, what was it called? New Journey Plus. There we go. So New Journey Plus is basically you get to play through the whole game with your additional abilities. That kind of resonates with me a bit more. I like I like the idea of being able to take my skills back and play it. Just like if you completed Metal Gear Solid, you can go back through with a bandana, which gives you unlimited ammo, or the camo suit that Grey Fox or whoever had. I like the ability that there's something you can take back. It gives you a bit more shelf life. There's more playthrough reasons, not just a case of, do it again if you want. I like the fact that you get to keep things like the cosmetics, like the lightsaber parts, the paint jobs for BD1. not asked about ponchos. Ponchos can get in the sea, as far as I'm concerned. I played the entire game, and I think I wore a poncho for about 40 minutes, and that was just because I thought, oh, go on, I'll give it a try. And then the next time I got to a place where I could take it off, I was like, no, I'm getting rid of that. Ponchos are the most horrendous things. Why? Star Wars has some of the best clothing and best characters and best designs, and they just stick a crappy poncho over the character. That was the worst design decision for me in that game. So I'm not asked about the fact that you can move forward with those. I like the idea of where they're coming from. Do like the fact that you can get the Inquisitor outfit as well as the red lightsaber crystal. Didn't like the fact that you couldn't have the red lightsaber crystal, but that kind of feels to me. So for those of you that don't know, red lightsaber is the bad guy's lightsaber. Greens and blues and purples or whatever can be used however, but red is always the bad one. And I didn't like the fact that you couldn't choose a red lightsaber. You knew you were on the good path anyway, but it's just a cosmetic in that sense then when you get to that point. If you want to be cosmetic and align with the dark side, but you still do the good side stuff, then the light side, then fair enough. But I didn't like the fact that you couldn't choose it, and that almost feels to me like they've kept it out just to say, oh, we've got it as an additional thing. It's like the fact that you can now be the Inquisitor, and they've got all this extra stuff, and a different colour option on screen. That's not an add-on. That's not additional perk. That's you just enabling something that was in there. So yeah, I mean, it's nice that it's there, but that just seems like a weak add-on for me. It should have been there from the start. There is some cool stuff in terms of the meditation training modes where you meditate in the game. That's usually you to either go into your skill tree or save the games or whatever. But from within that, they basically have some sort of I read it as horde modes or wave modes where you. Oh, baby just went absolute pixelated. Can you hear?
Oh, back.
Oh, you're there.
Yeah,
you just don't have eyes.
Oh, okay.
Does it look like Baby's eyes disappeared to everyone else then? It looked like some scary movie thing. Like your eyes just weren't there.
I can't see my own face on my screen because I'm using Discord. It's not in full screen, so yeah. I mean,
they're back now, but it looked almost like something from the Matrix where his mouth disappears. It looked like that, but with your eyes. Baby, oh my god! But yeah, the meditation training is like some sort of wave mode, which would nice. That doesn't resonate with me. Some people will probably like it. It's nice that there's additional content. For me, 8-bit bib.
yeah, I'll take that.
For me, it's nice, but I don't think it would probably pull me back in there. If there was new missions or side missions or some like DLC included with it, that'd probably pull me back in. But this sort of stuff, not so much. What about does it inspire you to finish it though, babe?
It will make me go back and play it again. Yeah. Originally, it was like I've got a ton of games that I need to play. I don't have enough time. That's a lie. But I find time to complete games anyway, so I will eventually get back to this when I'm not modding the shit out of Master League, which I've spent the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 days doing.
Yeah, well, it's been worth it, and as you can see, it leads to Phantom spamming chat. No co-op, no party. Good morning, Phantom. Or good, no, actually, yeah, good morning, Phantom. Very, very, very early morning for you. Hashtag team no sleep. I came here for the Pez Pillow. Yeah! I've added that to my CV, by the way. Grave day. Yeah, degree in yelling things into his microphone for radio journalism. And Pez Pillow. Bam!
How's it going anyway, Phantom?
Have you just been streaming? What have you been doing? What have you been playing? Have you found your groove yet? Have you kind of like... when I spoke to you on Twitter, obviously, the other night, you were looking for our floating. You'll find it. You'll find it. You just need to find that one bit. I love Valorant. It's a good game. It's a good game. Dead to watch. Yeah.
No, well, it isn't if you're interested in it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people will watch CS:GO and have a massive interest in that, but it might not be to everyone's taste. But ultimately, you've just got to play and stream whatever you feel like streaming. If people are there and they enjoy the game, they'll stay. That's the way that I see it anyway, and that's always how I've lived when I've come to stream. Fair enough, I might play ESO where nobody's watching, but I'm enjoying playing it, so I'll carry on playing it. I'm not just going to play stuff to keep people happy because ultimately I'm not going to be happy. That's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. It's good for the people that love the gameplay, and I think probably one of the things that I enjoy most in Phantom streams is the personality that comes with the gameplay. But Valorant requires so much attention that you almost don't get the time to have your personality. You get like a yeah when you do that no scope 360 headshot to win the round, but then you're straight back into another round again, and you're buying again, or back in the game, concentrate. So Valorant, it's for the Valorant fans. I think more for the more so than the streamers fans. So if you're there for a bit of social interaction, you can chat with the chat, but it's harder to chat with the streamer. My God, words. Yes, it's hard for me to chat anyway. Clearly, with the cheemers. It's a bit like Team Fortress / 1.6. Yeah, unless you have a God Squad. I mean, me and Bib pretty much are the God Squad. We're so godly, we give kills to everyone. Yeah, 1 kill for you, 1 kill for you. But Fortnite does the best for me, but I'm shy. He's better than me. All you need to do is get a shotgun precision. Phantom with a shotgun is like pow, pow. But yeah, I mean, I do like playing Valorant. I must admit, it grew old for me pretty quickly to watch. But yeah, I think I'd probably, when it comes to watching, I probably want to watch something else. I mean, I am still watching PUBG streams because I think that gameplay offers me the best narrative. But you know, I'm wearing a PUBG hat, so who's biased much? Yeah, there we go. Anyway, moving on. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order update adds new features such as being able to replay the game with your add-ons and so on. But let's move forward. And this one, I mean, we're just talking then, a nice segue in using Phantom. Do you know, sometimes you just don't know what you want to stream, and from a gamer's perspective, you don't know what you want to play. And that can be an issue when it comes to shelling out your hard-earned quids. Well, no more, as PS5 will offer free trials for every single game, claims a rumour. So basically, you know, there you go, jobs are good. Full 4K HDR ray tracing, jobs are good, yes please. No, so this is written by Michael Beckwith for the Metro, and the article says, the latest PS5 rumour is that the online store will offer demos for every game. But is this too good to be true? Whereas Microsoft has an Xbox Series X event planned for this week to show off some of its third-party titles, news on Sony's PS5 has once again dried up, with Sony having gone quiet. Since it unveiled the console's DualSense control in early April, a new rumour has surfaced regarding how the console will handle the digital PlayStation Store. According to Twitter user PS5 only, you will be able to download demos / trials of every game available on the PS Store. Not almost all of them, but all of them. Don't know if that was emphasised enough there. I think we kind of covered it 3 times. But cheers, guys. Not only that, but apparently you will be able to download these demos within seconds and then try them out almost instantaneously with no traditional downloading required. This seems to imply that the demos will be streamed onto the console. This would certainly make for a fantastic selling point for the console, especially with the new Xbox boasting numerous features that have potential consumers excited. However, this is ultimately just a rumour, and PS5 only, which is the account that posted it, there we go, has no evidence to support their claims. It certainly would be a surprising U-turn on the policies of both Microsoft and Sony this generation, where demos have been extremely rare outside of multiplayer betas. Demos did used to come as standard on the Xbox 360, but not PS3, until publishers realised that they actually put people off getting the full game more often than they convinced them to buy them. There seems no obvious reason for that logic to have changed recently, which might be another reason to assume that this is fake. Bib, demo.
Yes.
Would you be more likely to play a game if you've played the demo?
Yes. I was a big fan of being able to collect demo discs and trying the game out, regardless of how shit it was. Hence, probably why I play a lot of shit games, because I give any game a chance at least once. So the fact that I'm able to, I mean, there's a lot of games on the PlayStation 4 store. If they've got a demo, chances are I've downloaded it and I've at least attempted to play it. I just, we are past the stage of being able to get demo discs now. It's just not feasible. It's easier for them to be able to put the game onto the store. That said, the reason why they probably don't put them on there is because the coding has been shit enough for people to be able to go in, rip the game, and then open up the entire game using just the demo, which is always it's always blown my mind that developers would take the full game, condense it down to a very small section, and then just put blocking parameters on both sides, the beginning and the end. Rather than just making a solid game like a 6 GB game demo of that, so you can't open it up and you can't see anything else. It's just the text just for that demo, just to stop yourself from, you know, having the entire story opened up or the full game being opened up. So I imagine they're taking a lot of strides in getting that perfected, so that when this does inevitably happen, well, I say inevitably, if the rumors are correct and we do start getting demos again, I will go out on a limb and say that it could lead to a lot of other games getting a much needed sales boost, rather than just expecting people to be able to listen to shows like this to try and sell their game. So you
Hashtag
know,
spam.
yeah, I think it's for me it's a good move, because I like to play. I like to test the waters with the game first, rather than, you know, splurging out 50 quid on a game that could potentially not be my kind of game. But I've listened to feedback from critics on YouTube or reviews and things like that, and then just hoping and praying that it's my kind of game.
Yeah, I didn't realise. I mean, the bit that was included within there. Where was the bit? Bear with me 1 second. There we go. Demos did used to come as standard on the Xbox 360, but not PlayStation 3, until publishers realised that they actually put people off getting the full game. Didn't know that was a thing at all. Game demos are no longer compulsory on Xbox One. This is an article written by Game Central or Metro back in 2013. I've linked through to this. Let me just bring it up on screen while I'm looking at it with you. Publishers will not be required to include a demo of downloadable games on the new Xbox console, as Microsoft shift policies from the Xbox 360. So yeah, okay. I'm not going to read through that full article. See, my understanding of that is some people will try games, try demos, and not buy the full game because they don't like it. That's not a bad thing. I mean, I get what if you've got a game that's a bit kind of chalk and cheese, some people might like it, some people might not like it. You're not going to sell to the people that don't like it. But by giving them the demo, you're at least being nice to them and saying, look, do you want this experience? And then you can go, actually, no, I don't. You're not just going, give me your money and then resent me for not liking this experience. Demos, in that sense, are a good thing. I mean, if the PS5 is making it so that all games will have demos, I get that they're probably going to drop sales off, but surely that's better for the consumer, not for the not for the retailers. Not for the developer, should I say. I mean, it could be anti-developer, but the consumer is the one at the end of the day that has to spend the money. If they've spent 40, 50 quid on a new game and they realise, actually, just hate it, it's just shit, then okay, we'll sack it off, job's good, and get rid of it. Go back into playing the game that you want to play. This doesn't. It stops you from having to spend a wedge of money that you don't have to spend on something that won't hold your interest or could be buggy as hell or whatever. Having a demo, I mean, I say the buggy as hell. The chances are they'll polish a demo because it's only a very short element of it, but you can try it before you buy it. That's always a good thing. If it puts people putting them off from getting the full game, surely that's because they aren't the kind of person that will play the full game anyway. I mean, I like this edition. I think it's good. Xbox moving away from that, coming towards the Xbox One sounds like a bad decision to me. But Xbox made all of the bad decisions coming from Xbox 360 to Xbox One, so yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Again, I'll always prefer a demo, even if it's just like 15-20 minutes, just getting used to the mechanics of the gameplay. That for me is usually the biggest part of the game that I either enjoy or it'll just turn me off the game. It could be the best story in the world, but if the controls don't feel right, then I probably won't play it. That said, I do still play the Resident Evil games, the original ones that I've got tank controls, which most people hate. But because I've grown up playing them, it's that second nature to me. So I usually have a high tolerance in if the gameplay doesn't work or it doesn't feel right, and I will try and push through it. But just having that 15-20 minutes just to get used to how it feels and what's the combat like, if it is a combat game, if it's an RPG, like what's the skill trees like, is it there's just a whole different aspect to having a demo, which could, for me, it will either lead to a sale or not. That's, I imagine, why they don't release them that often anymore as well, because they know full well if the demo doesn't, react to the person that's playing it, then you're probably not going to buy the game, and it's £50 that they're not going to get from you. But yeah, I would like to see a future again where we do get demos. Maybe not of absolutely every game, but just the majority of the games that will be, I don't know, high profile games, shall we say?
It almost seems old hat to me to not want to have them, and I think they can be used in many different ways. Have a demo as part of your marketing cycle, part of your marketing campaign. We've seen how successful early access and free to play within a beta phase has been. I mean, the biggest game in the world, Fortnite, is still essentially a demo. It still says beta in the game if you go into it in the top con, or early access it on certain consoles and so on. So that is effectively an online demo, a live demo that has all of the functions and stuff in it. Using a demo properly is a really strong marketing tool. By just going, actually, a demo means people aren't going to buy my game, then is there something wrong with your game? Is there something wrong with your business prospect, your business plan? I mean, if a demo is going to undermine your business, then you're either putting too much in the demo, your game isn't good enough to be shared in the demo, so you need to find a different way to share in a demo, or you need to change your business plan. Because I mean, I know that's not complete be all and end all. There are exceptions to it, but if the demo stops you getting any sort of revenue, then your game isn't what you want it to be, or you're not positioning it to the right people, or you're overestimating what you want to get as your return on investment for that. And yeah, that's kind of a very simplified way that I would see it. But anyway, let's move on. I have to be on a call at 12, so we need to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Jump back through the chat though. Watch my 24/7 hours live VOD from the Valorant stream. That did trigger me, but it's not going to happen anymore. I think it will be an exact Counter-Strike Valorant. Like, no one watch normal streams but tournaments and pros. Yeah, exactly. You can't do that anymore. Twitch changing its terms of service. Have they actually committed to changing the TOS now? Because I know that there was talk of it. I didn't realise if they'd actually done it. But yeah, basically, for those that don't know, when Valorant first launched and you were grinding drops to get the access to the beta, long story short, a lot of streamers were streaming for 12 hours and then putting their stream back on again for 12 hours. So they had 24/7 coverage, which meant shitloads of views, which meant false inflated numbers. But they were putting that content on not as a rerun. They was putting it out as if it was live video content, which is it's against the rules anyway. But Twitch are changing it. Apparently, according to Jordan. I didn't actually see that, but yeah. Can't believe they're reporting on these rumours. Games Gen has died off massively. Same with people saying PS5 will add DNA 3 features. You can't believe that they're reporting on these rumours. This is Jordan, who keeps dropping in with reset era links and whatever in our chat and so on.
Yeah, 4chan shit.
Yeah. When it's a PS5 story, he can't believe these rumours. But when it's an Xbox story, he's like, "Here's a link for you. Here's a link for you." Oprah meme. Everyone gets links. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. The PS5 is a myth. It seems like it. PS5 only is a huge Twitter Sony troll and has been posting fake rumors to try and get followers. I mean, that happens all the time. It's the same with there's Xbox Ones. There's whatever. What's that? Sorry.
I got caught out by that. Remember that account that had it said PlayStation. It had PlayStation, but the S was a 5, and I was like, Graham, look, they're announcing something, and then you were like, you fucking idiot.
Check it out. Oh no, unretweet. We first played SmackDown on a PS Mag demo disc, although we were probably going to get it anyway, though. Exactly. So many games I purchased from having demo discs. Destruction Derby played on a demo disc, got the full game after that. So yeah. WWE 2K20 comes to mind. I mean, a lot of people would have. That's the thing, though. I mean, would 2K20 been the same experience? Probably, because it was so bad. But
they just polished the shit out of that demo, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. A guy got 57,000 subs from doing it. The 24/7 content of Valorant, and when he started streaming Valorant, had 20 followers and 40 views. Who's that? Damn. But you know what? Fair play to him. Okay, babe, let's go offline so we can stream some Valorant. Just
yeah, we're just gonna be. Oh, yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'd get decent. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, one final story, and this is a nice quick one to finish on. And it's just a little bit of information for those of you that might wonder why the friend codes exist on Nintendo, rather than just being able to pair with people. You know, that just like normal people would on other formats. Anyway, this is written by Emily Gera for VG247, and the article says, Nintendo Leak finally explains why we still have to use clunky friend codes instead of usernames. An internal PowerPoint presentation from Nintendo, which was leaked over the weekend, appears to explain why we're still using friend codes instead of usernames. Friend codes are a 12-digit numeric code used to connect to other players, and they were originally introduced in 2006 for the Wii and have since continued to be used on the 3DS and Nintendo Switch systems. But they're clunky and tough to remember. Why not just use usernames? Over the weekend, leaked documents apparently first posted to 4chan and reportedly linked to a server hack at a contracted company appear to offer an answer to this question. A presentation slide for the Wii explains Nintendo pushed for friend codes, believing these were simpler and more comfortable to use when compared to a username. What? A 12-digit numeric code is simpler and more comfortable to use than a username, but GG Nintendo, okay? At first, there were opinions that instead of 12-digit numbers, a freely chosen screen name would be better. The slide begins, before listing the potential problems. There is a high probability of duplicate screen names. When this happens, multiple re-entries are required. This conflicts with a simple principle. It's possible to guess someone's screen name by trying different variations of their actual name, which conflicts with the comfortable principle. Okay, so while the logic doesn't exactly follow, it offers fascinating insight into the thought process that went into Nintendo's Wii and which continues to be used to today. What the fuck?
Congratulations for the dumbest fucking thing I've heard in video games this year.
It's baffling. See, I'd heard different. I'd heard Nintendo has friend codes, which are these complex 12-digit codes, which are simple and comfortable, apparently. They're not. Absolutely not. I heard that those were made because the Wii was positioned at a family/younger audience, and that was a way to offer additional protection. So if John Smith is a 12-year-old boy, unlucky in your name choice, John. If John Smith is a 12-year-old boy, and he wants his username to be John Smith, people can get his actual real-life name from that username and could probably guess it and whatever. But having 1784211219784 or whatever, a 12-digit code, is probably more likely to protect his identity. I got that. So...
Yeah, I thought it was due to security, but I mean, if you are looking for your friends anyway, if you tie like your Facebook or your Twitter accounts to it, you'll be able to find your friends easier rather than using the 12-digit code. But it's not easier at all. I mean, do you know what? Roll back. It probably is because it's just an automatic thing that's generated in it. So as soon as you create a Nintendo account, it's just automatically assigned a 12-digit code to your profile, and there's no way that you're able to change it. So it would be easy for them to be able to do, because once it's been generated, they don't have to do anything else. Then they just need to, let you. You need to pay for your online membership, and then they need to allow access to do that for you. I imagine that it is probably easier for it, but it's not very user friendly. I mean, I don't want to hear that it's for some sort of protection reasons, because I don't think they're that smart.
I just added discussing now to the screen, which says Nintendo.
Nintendo. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's just bring this embedded tweet from Imran Khan on screen. It says, as part of that Nintendo leak, an internal PowerPoint was found that spells out the reasons they went for friend codes. Apparently, they thought signing up for screen names would be too confusing for the audience, and they would be frustrated if they didn't get the ones they want. It's just...
What? Mate, there's been gamer tag stuff going since forever. Like, if you can't get the gamer tag that you want, then you usually put a number at the end of it, or you put a 0 as an O or something like that. You just
or
put
XOXO Snipe 69 XOXO.
So yeah, it's. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that's just a little bit of laziness from their end.
I mean, if that is the logic that they've put with it, fair enough. It's flawed. We know it's flawed. But let's rewind 14 years. And video games online is still kind of fledgling a little bit. I mean, it wasn't really. It was still fairly well developed. But let's just say it was. okay, we'll let it go. You learn from it, and you go, okay, well, let's make this into a bit more snazzier and sexier and more user friendly proposition going forward. And you change. You don't just go, well, fuck it, we're going to double down on the 3DS, and then we're going to triple down on the Nintendo Switch as well, so that we have the same thing and stick with it. It's not logical. I mean, there's a reason why when Nintendo tweet, they tweet from the @Nintendo account. That's their profile. They don't tweet from a 12-digit number just because it was, freely available and it was there from them. I bet they went through a process of securing the Nintendo digit accounts as well. So
Yeah.
they understand that the reasoning for individuality and being able to present yourself not just as just an absent number. Not only that, I'm out of the Nintendo mindset. I do have a Switch. We do have a DS somewhere in a drawer, and we have a Wii in the loft. We've had all of those, but never really used them to the point where I can't remember how you go adding friends. And usually, if it's like add me on PSN, it's grade A. Job's gone bosh. But if it's like add me on the Switch, and I have to go, it's 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. You get that? We're halfway through. 2, 1. It's just like, oh god, no! It's just that isn't simple and it's not comfortable. Nintendo, sort it out, mate. But anyway, it is what it is. We can't change it. Nintendo just do what they want. And do you know what they're smashing at the Switch? So who do we know? What do we know even? Not who do we know. Excuse me. That's part of an old Mega Drive Genesis ad campaign. Sega does what Nintendo don't. I've not seen that one.
Have you not?
No, I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. Well, Nintendo is actually an emulator as well for the Wii, so you can play GameCube games without using the discs.
There you go. Full of all the knowledge here in the Twitch chat. But do you know, too much knowledge is a bad thing, so we're going to end it there. We don't want to take it out. It's not actually too much knowledge is a good thing, but we just, it didn't fit with my narrative for ending the show, so there we go. Anyway, we are done for the day. We are going to be back at 10 a.m. though, with more Scoopalicious content for you. I said 10 a.m. What I mean is 10 a.m. ish. That's kind of how it works here on twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. If you are new in the chat, also Ibrahim, hello. You've tuned in just in time for us to drop out. So hi, nice to see you. But we're going to disappear. So yeah, feel free to come back tomorrow though. We will be live at 10 a.m. ish tomorrow morning, and we will then be following tomorrow's show with some modded Master League. So if you want some co-op Master League PC spectacular fun times, then feel free to tune in for that. Like I say, hit follow on the channel now. You'll get notified when we go live. So if you're not sure when we're going to go live, that's the best way to do it. But we are going to disappear. Anything you want to add before we do though, babe?
Of course, if you do see anything, any video game news knocking around the social platforms of your choice, then do feel free tagging at We've Got to Be in Yo, at Graham_Day, and most importantly at Ice Cream Uploads on Twitter. We'll take your thoughts and impressions and give our thoughts and impressions. But not only do you have Twitter, we also have an area on the Discord now for you to be able to go in and drop your news articles and also give your thoughts there. We'll scrape that in the morning and just basically same as what we do with Twitter, but it's just another way for you to get in contact with us. And I'm guessing that the chat bar hasn't loaded.
No. Oh well, I've typed exclamation mark Discord.
It's in a start up rather than trying to remember in the morning.
Exclamation mark Discord in the chat would usually bring up the link. I think Bibby's potentially doing it now. If he doesn't, then
it's loaded up now.
Oh, let's try it again. Exclamation mark Discord. Nope.
Fuck's sake.
Oh well, we'll leave it there. We will. I mean, if you are lingering around, we will put the link in the chat.
Try one more time.
Okay. Third time. Look at exclamation mark DISCORD. Boom. Yay! Did you copy and paste that manually?
No, it says stream offline at the top of mine. I don't know if it's because it's recognizing that I'm not the one that's streaming it. It's coming from your side. But it says stream offline on mine, so I don't know. I think it's just been a bit temperamental.
God damn it, chatbot. But there we go. The link to the Discord? No, the link to the Discord even is in the chat. Feel free to go and check it out there. Bibby's done a lot of groundwork and put in different conversation areas for you guys to get involved. Plus, do you know what? There's a shed load of voice channels too if you want just some co-op gameplay. Jump in. But as Ads Plays has just generously thrown into the chat on behalf of everyone, have yourselves a very lovely day. And in true ice cream fashion, stay frosty.